Welcome to the program. Liberia's Supreme Court will today rule on the poll challenge in the country after listening to submissions by presidential aspirant and leader of the Liberty Party, Charles Brumskine. Brumskine, who finished third in the October 10 poll, had petitioned the court alleging fraud in the conduct of the poll. His party said widespread fraud had marred the outcome of the first round of votes. The court, in response to the allegation, then ordered the National Electoral Commission, NEC, to halt preparations for a poll runoff scheduled for Tuesday, November 7th. Today's ruling, however, is expected to largely determine whether the runoff will be held. Ignatius Ano and Barbara Lundu in this report present us more on the current situation.
Liberians are on the edge as they await the verdict of the Supreme Court over electoral fraud and irregularities. Locals are hopeful events following the announcement will be peaceful. The Supreme Court is expected to rule on Monday on complaints of fraud filed by some candidates.
Once you have, problem about the elections processes in Liberia, the best thing you can do is to channel your grievances through the courts, the Supreme Court of Liberia. That's the best thing to do.
I do not have fear in me because Liberians are people that do not want problems. Liberians, we have fought 14 good years of civil war in this country, and we have realized what they have done to us. So for now, I don't think any Liberian is contemplating on having confusion in this country no longer.
The second round of presidential elections was to be held on Tuesday between the former international football star George Weah of the Coalition for Democratic Change and outgoing Vice President Joseph Boakai of the Unity Party. But a complaint from Charles Brumskine, who came third in the first round of the polls with 9.6%, delayed the timetable. Weah supporters believe that Brumskine and the others prolonged the electoral process, while others believe that justice must take its course.
The results of the presidential elections in 2005 and 2011, organized after the Civil War of 1989 to 2003, which killed around 250,000 people, were also challenged by George Weah. Now, with a vote already viewed as partisan and in which ethnic origins play a key role, many observers fear that the demons of the past are beginning to resurface in the West African country that is yet to fully recover from its past. Today, the local press reported that the nation is on the edge. The country is more divided than ever, says Rodney Sier, editor-in-chief of a local daily. Now, supporters of Weah believe that Brumskine and others want to prolong the election process, whereas others say that justice must follow its course. The African Union and ECOWAS have sent representatives to mediate the standoff and see that the runoff takes place.
Harry Brown is our correspondent in Liberia. He joins us now over the phone, live over the phone from Monrovia's capital, from Monrovia, Liberia's capital. Good morning, Harry. Well, since the release of the results of the presidential elections, there have been accusations of fraud, though President Johnson Sirleaf have tried to defend the process, denying the allegations of fraud. Today, the Supreme Court will give its ruling. Can you tell us what the mood in the country is? Are people worried, or are they assured that the judges will give the right verdict so that the process can continue?
Well, there are mixed feelings among Liberians. People are worried and uncertain about what the Supreme Court will be, the Supreme Court verdict will be. Liberians are anxious to hear from the Supreme Court of Liberia by 10 a.m. this morning. The people are very anxious to hear the verdict because the future, the peace, the prosperity, and the smooth transition of our government is tied around this highly awaited verdict.
We guess a lot of scenarios are playing out with lawyers and pundits talking about the current situation. Harry, but are Liberians prepared for, let's say, a new election as it happened in Kenya?
The Green parties are calling for restructuring of the Election Commission due to what they call lack of confidence. However, this is not possible owing to the fact that the commissioner of the National Electoral Commission are appointed by the President of Liberia for a tenure of 7 years and serve at the will and pleasure of the President. Therefore, getting them requires the political will of the President.
The Electoral Commission has been criticized, but is the replacement of the electoral staff being considered, as Brumskine has stated? Could this be a big issue in this process?
Well, the agreed parties are calling for restructuring of the Election Commission due to what they call lack of confidence. However, this is not possible owing to the fact that the commissioner of the National Electoral Commission are appointed by the President of Liberia for a tenure of 7 years and serve at the will and pleasure of the President. Therefore, getting them requires the political will of the President. And as we speak, the Board of Commissioners has not come up with a ruling on the Liberal Party's complaint. All years I wait a final decision on today, Monday, at which the final ruling will be made. If the ruling is against LP, which is the Liberal Party, they will have to appeal to the Supreme Court of Liberia within 7 days after the next decision. The Supreme Court will then hear their ruling, their appeal rather, and come out with a ruling within 7 days in line with the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. This way, the public will know whether or not there be a run or a rerun of the election.
I'm afraid that's how much we can take, but we will circle back to you later in the day to get the very latest from the Supreme Court. Again, I'd like to thank you very much for speaking with us, Harry.
Harry Brown qui s'exprimait donc depuis le Liberia. Merci à vous de nous regarder. Surtout restez
Africanews correspondent Harry Brown joining us from Liberia.